It was, I have no words. What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. It's your girl Kiana here, and if you're new, welcome. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. It's free to join. In today's video, I'll be talking to you about how I survived my first semester of nursing school. So if you're interested in watching, then stay tuned. You already know I'm in an accelerated nursing program that is 22 months long, and within one semester we have 2 8-week terms. So within the first term, I took 2 courses. One was Transition to Clinical Nursing, and the other was Introduction to Professional Nursing. So within those 2 courses, we learned about ADPI, which is like the nursing process, so assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, evaluation. And then we also learned about concept maps, how to critically think, a clinical judgment, cultural awareness. And then in the second term, I had Foundations of Nursing Practice, and in that class, we learned about infection control, vital signs like blood pressure and all of that stuff. And then we also had a skills lab. I only was able to go to one lab, and in that lab we learned about perinatal care, and I did a day in my life. I'll link that up above. We did perinatal care and learned how to make the beds, but that was about it. I kind of wish that we were able to go to my second lab, because then we would have actually done like vital signs and actually practiced. But little Miss Rona came to town and she wanted to pay us a visit. So yeah, that ruined everything. So the whole transition from being in the classroom and then going online, completely online, it was kind of tough. But the first 8-week term was good overall. Like, it was hard for me to transition because I hadn't been in school for so long, for about a year, and then having to go back to school and then incorporate work and working full time at that, and having to learn new study techniques. Like, nursing is like totally different from biology and psychology. Like, for those, I like kind of just studied to memorize. With nursing, you gotta study to know, and so later on you can apply and answer those NCLEX style questions. So that was totally different for me, having to adjust to those type of questions, and also having to adjust to reading so much that I like. And there was that one point during the semester where I just was like, I'm not using the textbook at all. And I end up going back to it like right before the exam, because I was just like, I feel like I'm not getting as much detail as I want out of these PowerPoints. I mean, the teachers do a good job like putting all the important information on those PowerPoints, but for me personally, I like to be very detailed as possible. Very, very detailed. So using the textbook kind of helps. Overall, for the second term, it was, I have no words. Like, I just, at that point, I was just like, I give up, because having to go online and not having that structure of being in the classroom was really hard for me. It's like, it was like a love-hate kind of thing. At one point I did say 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend, because I had to teach myself. I didn't have that structure of being in the classroom. The teachers were very like, you know, we had a discussion board here and there, which was fine, because who likes discussion boards? Not me. So it was fine, but having to do the exams online, it was just like tough, because for one, once you submitted your answer, you can't go back to check it. So it was only one question per page, and then once you choose your answer and press submit, it goes automatically to the next one, and then you can't go back at the end or anything. So once you submit, and that just drives me crazy. Like, I'm the type of person that likes to go back through my tests once I'm done, and this I wasn't able to do. But also, like, finding time to study and like building those boundaries, like, because I work from home and then now I'm doing school at home, and like there was no boundaries like at all. And so once I like created those boundaries, I have a video on it on how I stay productive at home. Once I created those boundaries and became more productive, it got a little better. It did. At the end of the second term, we're supposed to test out for the labs portion, and we were supposed to do like a head to toe assessment, but unfortunately because of the coronavirus, like we weren't able to be in the actual lab and do it. So we just had like a little virtual patient online. If it was real life, I probably would I failed. I did horrible. So I'm glad that it wasn't a real person. And yeah, that's all I can say about that. Because it was, at that point, it was just like a pass fail. People did ask for us to like switch to a pass fail kind of thing, but I was kind of hoping that we didn't because I didn't want it to affect with the GPA. I'm happy with the GPA that I got, being that this was like all new to me. Nursing isn't easy as I thought it would be. Now I'm in my second semester. I'm shooting for all A's this semester, so wish me luck. Some tips for you guys, some tips that kind of helped me throughout my first semester. Number one is to be organized and stay on top of everything. I can't stress that enough. Like having a planner, whether paper or digital, whatever works for you. For me, I kind of use my Lavish Life Planner and Google Calendar to kind of organize my life and organize my nursing schedule. That worked for me for this first semester. Also, just doing work ahead of time, whatever assignments, I do it like 2-3 days in advance. Studying in advance. We usually have an exam like every 2 weeks, so within that 2-week span, I'm like constantly studying. As soon as I get that material, I study like 30 minutes a day. I'm constantly reviewing my work and staying ahead of studying, so that way I'm not cramming last minute. Another tip would be to have a good support system, so whether that's friends, families, classmates, whatever the case may be. My classmates, we have a group me where we all just like ask questions in there, and everyone's so helpful. So connect with a classmate or two, or your whole class. I mean, I will be with this class for the next 17 months. So we start together, we end together. So that's a good support system there. And then your family. I'm constantly calling my mom or my cousin to complain or just to vent. The thing that helped me was praying, journaling, and like meditating. Like all of that kind of helped me through. Like whenever I felt like I was getting frustrated, I just took a step back and then just did something non-nursing related, took a break, took a day to myself. Self-care, that's very, very important. I treat myself to certain things if I got a good grade on my test because I deserve it. So it's little things like that I do for myself. I always celebrate small victories, and that's what gets me going and keeps me motivated. But that's all the tips that I had for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again for watching. Bye.